Hello, everyone. It's John and Leanne back for your weekly coaching call with Email Copy Pro. How's everybody doing? I know we got our infamous delay time, so we're going to wait until we start hearing from you guys and say hello. And hello. Say hello.
Hello, hello, John.
It's Leanne saying hello. So hello to everybody. And got some cool news for you today. So get you pulled on here and answer all your questions, but then we'll give you the good news. It's already live, but
Yeah, something new in Email Copy Pro world. Oh, Robert, hello.
something is new. Yeah. Hey, Robert. So hello, everybody say hello so we can make sure that we're being heard. And this is even more important today because there is a cyber attack going on. I don't know if you guys know about this or not, but yeah. Please let us know that you can't hear us because it's affecting everything. It affected Email Copy Pro last night. I was working inside of it and it was saving things were like taking forever. I was like, what's going on here? And I email my tech team and they're going, yeah, there's a cyber attack going on. So not with us, with nationwide. So just FYI, in case your websites are running slow.
Anyway. Oh, but you know what? It might be COVFEF.
It might be what?
You didn't see that COVFEFE?
Nope.
Oh, geez.
Mm-mm.
If anybody knows what COVFEFE is, type it in the chat.
Don't know. I don't know. Bluehost was down for me last night for yeah.
There you go.
It's attacking service providers. So our Email Copy Pro runs off the most powerful WordPress and Angular JS provider that we could find, and so they get hit. It's like it affects everybody. So yeah, it sucks. But I haven't checked it today, but. Well, actually, I did check it. I was in there just with Carl over from JJ's group. So, and it was working. It seemed to be working fine. But yeah. Anyway, in case you're wondering, that's what's going on. It's not us. It's the evil terrorists out there, and they can all go to hell. That's my terrorist rant for the day. All right, so let's take your questions and let's hear from you. Let's see how you're doing, and we'll cover questions. And I have a feeling that somebody's going to ask a question. I'm going to say, well, guess what? We have a solution to this. So I might dive into what our new gift is for you that we worked all last week on. And yep, we got it. We got it done. We're going to give you a way that you can literally get started. I made the video live last night, and I literally was filming myself live. I was completely through with every email in the first 21-day sequence within about 15 minutes. And that's starting from nothing. And that's because we now have a starter niche. And what we did is we created a niche that was, I told you I'm going to dive into this early. We created a niche that would be applicable for just about any business, service, or product. So you might be wondering how the hell we did that. I'm kind of wondering it myself. We had to go super general, obviously, but the copy still reads really well. And really, really good. And we also provided content pieces for you. So we want to talk to you a little bit today about content because content's very important to send out. So we filled out all your content, filled out all your sales pages, webinar, everything. Everything is filled out with the exception of you filling in struggling with blank, suffering from blank. So that's pretty much as difficult as it gets. And this is a way for you to start if you haven't started your niche. Now, if you have started your niche and you want to snag those copy elements, it's going to be until about a month from now, it's going to be cut and paste. There's no way around it. But about a month from now, we're having an upgrade come out to where we can send out, hey, we updated a copy piece in this template, and you can just grab it if you want it. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be a neat future upgrade. But this is the biggest update that we've done before our 2.0. To help you guys get done faster. So to watch that video, log in, and there's a blue button that says watch this first. If you click that video, don't do it now, but if you click it, it'll tell you, it's about a 15-minute video of me, or about maybe 20 minutes of me showing you, I'm starting a niche, but now I'm going to start a niche with my starter template and exactly how to do it. It's, everything that you need to change. There are some things that you have to delete because we had to create 3 different avatars and 6 different niches, because that we tried to cover everything we could think of. So obviously you don't have 3 avatars or 6 niches, you only have 1. So you just select the one that's closest to yours, or you can actually just enter your own, of course. I mean, but we're trying to enter all the data for you. So for example, our template says relationship conscious people. It's very general, right? So if you're in the marriage space, if you're in the dating space, if you're in the pickup artist space, all that would fit into relationships, right? So you might change it to your avatar is single men. That's fine. So, but you'll get the idea, and it's going to help you a ton. That's pretty much how people are going to start from now on. So, okay. So Joseph has a question. Can we somehow input our old emails and have CopyPro learn, improve, replace with better output? No, not at this time. I wish it was that simple, but here's what we can do, Joseph. What we get all of you guys doing. Oh, the Facebook traffic was released. I believe it was released yesterday, but yeah, we'll cover that in a moment. We're actually redoing it because we saw a problem, and I think, did he say he's going to have it done today or tomorrow, Leanne? Anyway, I don't know if
another day or 2. Probably.
Yeah, okay. So two more days. It was actually done yesterday, but Leanne watched it and said, this part wasn't clear enough. So yeah, we're even for a bonus, we're trying to be a little picky, and the trick is really cool. The trick is, it's awesome. You're going to love it, but it's a cool piece of software that allows you to do some pretty cool stuff. It's not us. We don't make any money off of it. But anyway, I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but let's get to Josie's question. What Email Copy Pro works on the premise that we actually write the emails or have other people write emails. In other words, marketers from Ryan Dice to Todd Brown to guys you don't know, send me stuff. And they go, hey, here's a sequence for this, or here's an email that I'd like to see in the system. And if it's an email that we can use, then we'll put it into the system. But the best way you can do that is to have a look at an email that's similar in structure, whether it's a promotional email or whatever, and see how we do it. Like, look for the persuasion triggers. We'll look for the wants, needs, fears, and actions. Those are the 4 triggers that we use. And we use at least 3 in every email, unless it's like a last minute email. Well, hey, where are you going to be? Obviously, we don't use 3 in that. But for almost every email, you'll see 3, oftentimes all 4 in email. So I've talked at length about persuasion triggers and what they mean. And if you want us to cover it again today, I'm happy to do it. But that would be the fastest way for you to do that. Or, Joseph, you can send us a couple of email samples. And if we think that, hey, this has got some good stuff in it, and we can make it better, and we can add it to the library, then we'll do that. And then you'll have it, and so will everybody else. So it's kind of a win-win wiki model. A lot of W's there, triple W. So Jeff, I think you got the answer for that Facebook bonus. And by the way, we are going to probably release the version that we saw yesterday, which is, it was 8 videos long. It's kind of detailed, it's kind of nice. But we thought that the things that we didn't like about it were that it's awesome. It totally works. But it's complex. It requires doing some things that we didn't think most people would want to do. It's not that it's complex as far as like buying ads or anything, because you don't do any of that. But my head of copy guy said, well, there is this simple way that I used to use. I'm like, oh, geez. So we're going to do it that way. So yeah, I'll give you I'll just open the can of worms here and give you the brief overview of what the Facebook thing is. So the model works off of providing content that's good based on your niche to as many groups as you can follow. So normally that wouldn't attribute to anything. In other words, like I'm going to give weight loss as an example. Now, please bear in mind, this could literally work for anyone. Okay. So I'm going to say weight loss. That is just my example. So I'm in weight loss. So what I do is I get this software, and I don't remember the name of the software. It's I think Leanne might remember it, but right off the top of my head, I don't remember it. But
Interoptin.
What's it called? Interoptin. Yeah, it's called Interoptin, and you follow the way that George and his team does it. you go into like as many weight loss groups as you can. So they like to shoot for 100, or 1,000. They get into a whole lot. But let's say you join 50 groups or whatever. That is in the niche that you want to sell. So in other words, I'm in weight loss. I'm selling a weight loss book, and I'm going to join all these groups. Well, if you start joining these groups and you start posting like, hey, I've got a weight loss offer, you'll get kicked out immediately. We would never advise you to do that. So they came up with a good way to create really good, valuable content and actually have people opt into your stuff without anyone really knowing the difference. And the way the software works is pretty cool. So the strategy is that you join these groups, you post really great stuff. So please don't do this if you're going to spam people, because you'll get kicked off. We wouldn't want you to do that.
Yeah, there'd be no point.
Yeah. So, but if you join these groups and you say, you just make it a point to, every 3 days, you're going to post in a group and you're going to post something really cool and no links. You don't do any of that. Like, hey, I actually love this thing about weight loss. This is what's working for me. Hey, I've been writing a book about weight loss, and I have a book about weight loss, and here's my number one tip, or whatever is beneficial to the group, right? And then the cool part happens to me. Then how do you get those people that are interested in weight loss, and like you're in weight loss groups, interested in what you have to say, other than people texting you and going, oh, what's your book name? And you have to be careful with that. So what they came up with is the software. What it allows you to do is you can take an article from, let's say you go to Men's Health, or you go to Cosmopolitan, or you go to Huffington Post. I think Huffington Post is one of the groups that they use. You can find a Huffington Post article on weight loss, and you can post it in the group, which I do all the time in groups. Like I'm in a copywriting group, and I'll say, hey, here's an article on some copywriting thing, like this AI machine that's trying to write copy. Well, so that's intriguing to the group, right? That's helpful. So the difference is that when you post it in there, instead of going to Huffington Post, like when you post a link in and it shows the image from Huffington Post, what it does is it creates an iframe, and it shows the actual image from the Huffington Post article, or wherever you're coming from. And when they click on it, it goes to a site that looks like Huffington Post, but it actually isn't. And literally you can throw a pop-up there and say, hey, do you want more information on weight loss or whatever it is? Enter your name and email address. And then they can read the actual article just as if they were on Huffington Post. So they're not like it's not bait and switch. They're actually reading the article. It's just they're not on the Huffington Post site, but you never said that you're going to send them to the Huffington Post site. That's the trick. So it's pretty sophisticated software. So if they find the article interesting, they're going to opt in. And all you have to do is be very straightforward with your opt-in and say, hey, it's, in my case, hey, it's John Benson. I'm a member of your group on Facebook. And in case you want some more cool weight loss tips, you can enter your name and email, and I'll send you this free bonus or whatever. So you don't say I'm the Huffington Post or something. You're just completely straightforward. And people will wonder, wow, how did you get a pop-up on Huffington Post? Because the site looks just like Huffington Post, because they're pulling it in from an iframe. So it's a really clever idea. And it's George literally yesterday when he said, I just posted something and I've had something like 700 people opt in one day. So, I mean, they're building a large list of followers for using this strategy. So we're going to throw it out there to you guys. And if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, or if you don't want to use it, that's great too. I mean, we're just trying to help you in any way, form, or fashion to get traffic. But my caveat to this, and I'm going to make sure that this is covered when you guys get it, is that your goal here is to try to provide articles and content that's really, really good for these groups, that you're not spamming people. So if you spam people, you'll just get kicked off. You don't want to, if you get kicked out of too many groups, Facebook can ban you. So you don't want that to happen. So just, if you play fair and you post really cool articles, and not every article you post sends to your opt-in, you'll do really well. It's a great way to build a list of, so you're targeting very specific people, and you're not paying a dime for this. So I thought the idea was, I have been in marketing since 2004 and I'd never heard of it. So I don't know everything. And some people might say, oh, I've heard of that before. I'd never heard of this. And I think it's very clever. So, but I also see the inherent dangers in it. Like, in other words, if somebody was to start posting one article every day on the same site, and you could abuse it like anything else, but just use it ethically and you'll be great. Okay, so Rick says Ben Atkins does this with an app called Birdsong. Okay, so so Rick, you're smarter than I am when it comes down to this. I'd never heard of it. I know Ben indirectly. I don't know him well, but yeah, I am all for anyone building a list within ethical reasons. Content must be good. That's why we love you guys. Oh, thank you. I completely agree. The content's got to be really solid. And so let's get to that's a preview, and look for that in the next couple of days. So,
hey,
Rick had a question.
Speaking of, hang on one second, just to put a period on that.
Sure.
George shared the site with me that he just posted in groups the other day, and the views have been climbing. So I just logged in, and there are now, I could share my screen and show you, but there are now 1,233 clicks through to that post.
Wow.
That he posted 2 days ago in the group.
Yeah, and that's one group out of he's in 1,000 groups. So
no, those are clicks through to the website.
Yeah, so, I'm just saying that's in a group. Yeah, I mean,
he might have posted in
exactly. He's literally. I mean, I said join 10 groups. He goes, no, add a 0 to that or add 2.
Exactly.
So join as many groups as you can. And so he'll spend like an hour every morning, copy, paste. It's like, because it's just going into the groups. And I think there's an application that actually posts for you in multiple groups. So like if you're a member of 10 groups and you want to post it to all 10 groups.
No, but there is, somebody asked a question, is there a software that helps you find groups? And yes, there is software that helps you find the groups. It doesn't add you to them because that's manual. You got to do that.
Yeah.
And also, would you guys, like, if the strategy included like writing articles and stuff like that, would that like be a total major pain? Because we could release that part, that has the writing articles, and if you don't want to post somebody like Huffington Post articles. So,
I'm not sure what I don't follow you, Leanne, so you'll have to be more. What do you mean writing? Tell me more.
Well, George's original, what he showed me involved writing articles rather than taking HuffPost articles.
Right. Okay. So yes, and so let me throw that out too, because that's I follow you now. So the original version of this involved creating your own websites and creating your own article content. So that's awesome, and I thought that's by far and away the best way to do it. The problem with that is that, how many people have time to create websites and write articles on top of writing emails? So we thought that was too much work, but we are going to release that version of the bonus. And if it's so killer, we're actually going to start selling it. So, but we're going to give it to you guys for free. But yeah, because I think it's really killer. But I just thought it's a lot of work. So yeah, so I wanted to make it easier for people. So Rick says Leanne mentioned that she might do a training show on how she did the research for the public speaking niche. I knew that you were doing a training, but I didn't know it was on that. Tell me about that, Leanne.
It is. I did it. We had webinar jam issues. But
it's
done. That's the one. But you know what I can do? I think what I'll do is I'll record a video and I'll show, because then I can go deep in the research. Nobody's asking me questions. Mm-hmm. I'll just create a video and you can add it to Email Copy Pro if you want, or we can just send it out to people.
Yeah, we can send it out.
Whatever.
Yeah. Thanks for asking that, Rick. So yeah, Leanne, if you want to do that, and email for whatever reason, Webinar Jam is becoming much more stable now. We've used it now without any issues. So I don't know. I think that their transition into their own platform was a little bit rocky, but maybe they're making it. All software gets a little rocky at first, including our own. So Gordon has a question.
Oh, did you see Benedict?
Oh no, I didn't. Oh, did I open the Facebook group? Yeah. No, and the reason why is because we just finished the starter last night, and I have a sequence of events that have to take place. So I will tell you what's going on. We now have 2 episodes already of a podcast that hasn't yet to be released. It's actually on iTunes, but we haven't told anyone about it. And that's because we're waiting for my redesign of my own website, of my own homepage. And I've actually been the one that's slowing that down because I focused on finishing the starter thing. That's a long, and when you see it, you'll get it. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of work to do, and we wanted to make, but I thought it was more important than anything else. So we're releasing the Facebook group next week. You'll have that next week, and it's literally just the only reason we haven't done it is because I haven't. There are things that we want inside that pinned post that we don't have in there yet. So I'll have it in there, and you'll have it next week. And we can't wait. I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be an awesome group. I mean, the other reason we didn't, not to bore you with our internal details, but we just so happen to have two of my very good friends who have the best email stuff some of the best email and YouTube stuff that I know of, Daniel Levis and Jeff Johnson. So these are not guys that I just kind of know that I just, these are guys I talk to. These are guys almost everyone that you'll ever see me promote is people either that I use, that I paid. Both of those guys fit into that category, or that I just know personally and know that they're badass. So we just finished back to back that. And then Todd Brown as the other guy. Todd is not only awesome, he gave us entire sequences for you guys. He literally contributed the funnel sequences that we use, and did it without, hey, just here. He wouldn't even give me his affiliate link. So or not his affiliate. I said, I don't want your affiliate link. I just want give me the name of the website to send people to. Some really awesome people. So we're standing behind his launch that is happening next week. But so we had just a bunch of emails in the queue, but we are releasing the Facebook next week for sure. So that's the long answer for that. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We got a really killer look and feel to it, I think, in the podcast, the first issue of the podcast. If you guys want to hear the podcast before it actually hits light, let me know. I'll send you the iTunes link, and it's episode 1, and it deals with inbox branding. It's all about inbox branding, and it's a good show. We're just missing the sexy intro stuff. So yeah.
I would suggest just posting it, because I'm predicting that we will get yes, please.
Well, it's going to be a good one.
There you go, Rick. You're the first one. Yes.
Okay, I'll post it in here, and just remember, we don't have the sexy girl voice at the very start, But other than that, we got it here. So,
well, look, we can now circle back to Gordon's question. Way back. John, I'm marketing a supplement. While I'm waiting for you to post that. John, I'm marketing a supplement that works to relieve chronic inflammation. Good for you. Virtually all disease as a result. How do I format my info, i.e. avatar? So many different avatars.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm wrapping my head around that one. 1 second here. Well, for whatever reason that I was reading the question, it disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So many different children with autism and depression. Okay. Okay. So chronic inflammation. So that's a great question. I'm thinking of the best way to do that, since you're not marketing to children with autism, you're marketing to the parents of children with autism, obviously.
Yes.
You're marketing to people with depression. So if it's dealing with chronic inflammation, you could do something as generic as health conscious individuals, health conscious folks. You could do something that generic that would cover it, because bear in mind that most of the time that is gonna go right by inside the email. So I'm actually going to think on that. I want to give you an answer on this call, but health conscious folks just seems real. And we actually use that in our starter niche. We use health conscious individuals, but I actually like folks because I like to get real kind of granular on the, so even though I wrote that, I had to write it with people that wouldn't even know what the word folks meant, but, there are people from foreign countries. When I say folks, they don't know what that means. So, you have to think as holistically broad as possible when you write for, mass numbers of people. But that's a great question. So Gordon, I'm going to get back to you on that one, but I'm going to get back to you on this call. So yeah. And Leanne, I'm open to ideas, but yeah, well, think about that. And cool. Okay, Leanne.
Let's see. If so, God, I hate. Okay, what's the URL? I think posting. Public speaking. Question from Amanda Rose. Public speaking. Can you say what is the gain? I think she's asking. What is she asking about? The not the gain. I mean, that's what she's asking, but that's not.
I don't understand the question. So
I think she's asking about the goal, right? Is that what you're asking, Amanda Rose? Like, what's the goal of the public speaker? And while we're waiting for that, okay, no gain is no. I have no idea. Amanda Rose, please re-ask that question because you said no gain is a gain. I don't know what that means. The recording, what you said you were going to send us. Oh, you mean John's podcast?
here's the podcast. Yes.
There it is.
Okay. So, okay. The URL for the Facebook app tool is coming out in a couple of days.
Did you see Volker's comment about for supplements for Gordon? Copy the niche and adapt the avatar to fit the people you target.
Yeah, and that is something I have actually given that advice more than once. And here's the drawback to that advice. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I created the damn thing, and I didn't think of this. Somebody else had to tell it to me. So this is true. Somebody said, well, okay, so if you duplicate the niche and you decide that, oh, wait, I have a typo. I made a typo in this field, and you've got 4 different niches. You have to change it in all 4 different niches. You can't, and that is true. That is the only drawback to that. And if you create something new, like if you create something new in the children with autism, that would be an awesome avatar. Now, when I say awesome avatar, I'm speaking only from a marketing point of view. I'm not talking about children with autism. Okay, just I'm being overly sensitive here, making sure people don't take something out of context. Children with autism, yay! I would never say that. But the avatar, children with autism is the ideal avatar. Autistic children is even better. Okay. You could say children suffering from autism. You could 3 different ways to word that. Then you copy that niche and you go to, you can men and women suffering from depression. That's a long avatar. So I would say, depressed, folks struggling with depression or depressed, depression. You could say depression sufferers. That's actually better. So I'm going to type that in. I like the shortest way that you can say the avatars. So if you can say it in 1 word, that's great. 2 words, that's almost as good. 3 words, you're getting a little wordy. So sometimes I have to think it through in my head. So autistic children, that's the way I would say that. And that is a great solution to that problem. If you're okay with editing the niche, more than once. So in other words, and I think what Gordon is going to come back and say is, yeah, but I'm going to send out an email to people that may have, may fit into this big broad spectrum, right? So that's why I'm thinking, like, can we say something like, this is not it, Gordon, okay? But you'll get the idea. It's really it's a terrible one, but you get the idea. This is what I'm trying to think of, something like that, something like inflamed individuals. Okay. People, do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of, so this does work. This right here will work. It's the longest I would ever suggest you making an avatar. But what I was trying to do for you is to think of how do you do that in 2 words. So I'm letting my brain spin on it while we answer the other questions. but yes, you can most certainly do what I don't see who suggested that, but it's a really good one to say. I'm going to say depression sufferers, autistic children, heart patients. Inflammation affects everything, as you know. So you could tailor emails specifically to that. Now, the drawback would be that if you said, hey, if you're struggling with heart issues, if you're a heart patient, or if you have heart disease, so you've got your avatars is if you're if you have heart issue, someone with heart issues, that's all gonna fly over the head of somebody that's dealing with an autistic child. So if you were trying to throw a big blanket over it, then I would highly suggest going for something like folks suffering from inflammation. So yeah, I'm going to get into the Email Copy Pro and share the screen here in a moment, and this is good exercise for everyone on the call, because you guys may also get some benefit out of this. I'm not just trying to make this all about Gordon stuff. I don't even know Gordon, but but I think it's a great question, because very rarely do I get stumped where I can't immediately think of something. By the way, sufferers, not suffers. My copywriting is pretty good. Just my spelling sucks sometimes.
Hey, before you jump in, we had a question that was sent in, and it's a question from Burke over in South Africa. And he is asking, let me just zoom in on it. He's saying, John, when I get into Email Copy Pro, there are so many emails that I could generate. What would you suggest is a good follow-up email sequence for my high-ticket life coach training course once I get a lead of someone that is interested in the course? Currently, people take from a week to 50 days to buy after inquiring about the course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if it's taking a week to 50 days to buy, I totally go with the 21-day indoctrination series. If I'm understanding the question correctly. So that is a very slow burn to buy. And we're working on, it's not going to come out until next month, but we are working on a 60-day autoresponder sequence. That's a slow burn. We're actually going to call it slow burn. But all that's doing basically is taking essentially the same email sequences that we have, or the same emails we have right now, and just putting them into one sequence for you. So you can use the 21-day process after that. And then if I don't buy from there, then you can start just diving into content pieces. You send out, so you're going to have at least 6 different content pieces you can send out on top of that, and then send out a promo. Just choose the promo you want to send out, and then you can go back to additional content pieces from there, because we're going to continually add to that. So
okay, thanks.
Okay. So I think that answered the question. Okay. All right. So I don't know what the recording is referring to. Oh, okay. I got it, Amanda. Yeah. So we just sent that to you. Okay. Dan says, is it better to broaden the label by saying children on the autism spectrum? No, it's actually I get what you're saying, Dan. And technically speaking, you are completely correct. But you can say that inside other areas. But I would be cautious with that, because the reason why is you would end up with an email that would read like, when it comes to children on the autism spectrum, I really don't like it. Children on the autism spectrum often suffer from blank, blank, and blank. And what makes children on the autism spectrum, you see how it would get really, really repetitive? So that's why I like autistic children. And I grant you that that's not technically correct. Or you could even say, the longest I would go is high risk. You could say, you could take that avatar, if that was the only avatar, and change it to high risk children in one place, and then change it to, what you said, children on the autism spectrum. So again, I've done this in video after video, so you guys can just watch the videos on Email Copy Pro. I have multiple ways of saying the same avatar. So I'll say, for example, for weight loss, I'll have weight loss enthusiasts, fitness lovers, fat burners. So the reason why is I want the email to read in so many different ways. And we even started creating emails that purposely pull in 3 different versions of your avatar. So in other words, if you don't have 3, it's going to say, well, click here to put your avatar in. because we want you to think of 3 different ways to say it, right? So I would totally do that if that was, again, the only niche, if that was a solo niche. In other words, if Gordon was going to create this and dive into only autistic children for this email, and the next email only heart disease patients, and the next email only diabetics, and only, and there's something to say for that, Gordon. I mean, just from I'm talking now more strategic marketing here. You should have a holistic niche. Folks suffering from inflammation isn't the end of the world. It's not a bad way to say that. You could even say, you could even be really savvy with this, and granted, this would be a little bit wonky in places. But if you said folks suffer from inflammation, and in parentheses say, who I call blank, and it's one word, inflammatory, inflammaroids, inflammafolks, and of course that's silly, but you get the idea. Then you can just start saying inflammafolks everywhere, and then you got a one-word avatar. So I'm trying to think as creative as we can for you here, trying to get way outside the box. But inflamed individuals, it gets the idea across, but it's not good copy. So, yeah, I'm still letting that ruminate, man. So
you wouldn't go with the inflammation sufferers like you did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the inflammation sufferers is the one I would go with right now. That is a really good one. I threw that out saying, here's one that will work. And now that I think about it, it's actually a really good one. I think I wrote that in there already. I wrote it somewhere, didn't I? Or did I just say it?
I think you might have just
said I said depression sufferers. Yeah. Inflammation sufferers. Yeah. Yeah. I sufferers.
You're getting there.
Sufferers. There. Just copy and paste that. Just when it comes to sufferers. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So that Gordon is, I knew you were going to say that, Gordon, because I am in your niche. So I get this. Yeah. The problem is that most people don't know that they suffer from inflammation. So you could say something like this. When it comes to less than healthy folks, I mean, they when it comes to folks who feel bad. Yeah, I'm so try. I'm gonna. Yeah, it is kind of fun, isn't it? This is kind of like a game, and so when I started doing this, and now picture doing it times 1,000, because that's what we literally had to do. It is like a big video game, but it's a video game that makes you money, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it is. It's sort of chess meets World of Warcraft or whatever they call it. But yeah, we're trying to figure out some tricky things here. But once you get it down, it's good. So I would go with inflammation sufferers, and then inside of that, you can define it. You can define, do you suffer from inflammation? And that's how you can start. We have tons of emails that say, so chronic illness sufferers. Inflammation victims. Thanks, guys. You guys are doing great. Inflammation victims. I actually like that one better. Victims. Thanks, Larry. Better than I am. So the chronic illness sufferers, it's good. I just think that they don't know. Okay, so the people that know they're chronically ill know they're chronically ill, right? But you wouldn't think of yourself. I wouldn't think of myself as chronically ill. But in reality, I have serious inflammatory problems. I mean, I have genetic terrible inflammation. Now I've got all my inflammatory markers relatively down now, but it took 115 supplements a day and a complete bodybuilding lifestyle to change that. So you can't good luck with that. But that's because I have the worst genes imaginable for this shit. But that being said, if you would have asked me at 26, if I would have no idea. Even if I knew inflammation was around back then, I wouldn't have known I was an inflammation sufferer. So I totally get where Gordon is saying they don't know that. But you can tap on what they do know. And if you do that, Gordon, you could make your email marketing, and everyone on the call, this work for everyone on the call, you can literally divide your list into multiple components and say, I'm going to take the top 5 inflammation-based diseases: heart disease, depression, autism, diabetes and arthritis. Let's say those were your 5. Okay. Everything else can go by the wayside. And then in your PS, you can say, it doesn't just work for blank. And in this case, it might be, it doesn't just work for heart disease. It doesn't just help that. It also helps blank, 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 and blank, and blank. And then you got it. You got it. You totally got it. So don't say Alzheimer's. Say anyone suffering from brain dysfunction, right? So Alzheimer's, dementia. You could get really specific with that. So these are all symptoms of these are all related to inflammation. So those are the ideas, Gordon. So if I come up with something extra, I'll let you know. So I hope you guys all chime in here. So somebody else gets to chime in now. This is not your fault, Gordon. I really wanted to tackle this one because I'm a big fan of anything that lowers inflammation, because I struggled with it and almost died. When you almost die from inflammatory diseases, and when I say almost died, I mean literally I was out and got back to life. Because that's what happens when you have a heart attack. And this was I was in my 30s, or just barely turned 40. So I was a very young person. And that is, heart disease is almost all inflammation. So it's, when you deal with it like I've dealt with it, it's a personal issue. So, okay. So, and by the way, psoriasis, that's an inflammatory response. It's a bitch of one. No, it's genetic. But anyway, okay. So next question, next challenge. I think we did that one pretty well. Thanks for bringing this with everyone. That was great. And by the way, we'll take you in if somebody wants to see inside the starter thing. We can show you that. We can show you how certain avatars will work. I think avatars are so important to get down, and why certain things wouldn't work. Like for example, long-winded avatars wouldn't work. But in fact, I'm going to go ahead and take you in right now, and we're going to open up the starter one. So. And I'm going to go over here to this niche and change the name of this to demo. And I'm going to select starter, or my starter template. That's the one I'm going to select. Okay. So to do your starter thing, all you do is go to niche. I'll start right from start here, and you click new, and you scroll down here and you select the one that's all caps, starter, and then give it your name and save. Okay. So I might as well just save it like that. That way I can know I can delete it afterwards. Now I'll show you. It's creating a niche, and it's creating it very slow because of this freaking attack. Normally, as you know, it's super fast. So yeah, we're gonna we're gonna spin wheels today here. So yep, there's nothing we can do about this, guys. So apologize. Hopefully this will be fixed by tomorrow, but it's unfortunately not up to us. Wow, this is really slow. Look how slow that was. Wow. We're normally like blazing fast. So, okay. So as you can see in the avatars that we created for this, so we pull in, are you a health conscious individual? Are you a business person? Or are you a relationship conscious people, right? So they're very open-ended, okay? So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the avatars that mean nothing to me. So I'm going to because I'm going to focus on health, right? So I'm going to delete business. I'm going to delete this. And now I could change health conscious people. That's as generic as it gets, right? But that's okay. I'm going to keep it that way for now, okay? Then I'm going to go into the niches, and I'm going to delete every niche that doesn't involve me. So spiritual growth out, personal development, not really, business, relationships, wealth. I'm going to delete every single one of these except for health. So I'm going to do this pretty quick, guys. Okay, so you have to do that first, because now my avatar is health conscious people, my niche is health. Okay, so it's very general, right? So in this case, my niche would be chronic inflammation. So let's say you can change that if you want to, but we want to make it to where you didn't have to change anything. This is as basic as you get, as fast as you get, and I'll show you exactly what happens when we do this. I'm going to save that. Make sure I save this, and I think I did, but I just want to make sure. Okay, and that's it. That's literally all you have to do to get up and rolling, and you'll see everything else you have to do inside the email. So you're going to go into emails, and I hope it's going to go faster than this. And we'll go over here and say, go to the 21-day starter. This is just a place to start. You don't have to start here. I'm going to select my weird niche here and do the 21-day indoctrination series. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, you saw how fast I did that, right? I started from scratch and literally changed, very few things, right? I don't need to look at this. So it starts with a free gift. And I want you to look at this. I'm going to scroll up and select, here's your free gift. And I click view. And I have an email that tells you exactly what you should fill in to make the email completely work. Okay. This ever-growing group of health-conscious people is one I trust you'll find infinitely rewarding. That's a great sentence, right? But if that sentence said, this ever-growing group of folks who suffer from Alzheimer's disease is what, do you see what I'm saying? You want to say, this ever-growing group of Alzheimer's sufferers. That's the way to say that. This ever-growing group of you could also say, inflammation fighters. So that's a great avatar that might work there. I'm going back to Gordon for a moment, but I'm just using exactly what I've already written. Notice what it says. I have a free gift for you. I found it valuable when figuring out how to finally reach my blank potential. So literally all you have to do is enter whatever niche you entered here. Since we don't know what it is, I'll click out of it. I'm going to zoom up here so you guys can see a little better. And so your niche potential, I click here. And notice that it says realize my blank goals, fulfill my blank objectives, reach my blank potential. So I'm going to keep reach my blank potential. Why not? Click the pencil icon. And I'm going to change that to reach my health potential. Or, that's as simple as it can be. I'm just going to keep it super simple. Okay. Now, this is as generic as you get, but my point is we want to get you up and going. And now that's permanently in the database. It's called Enter Your Offer Name Quick Start Guide. So we're literally telling you what you should create for your giveaway. You should create I'm going to make something up here, Superman health plan, because I like Superman. So I would enter the URL for Superman right here. I don't even have to enter all this stuff, but when I do, it'll show you enter your offer name. So it's that simple. So I don't even have to enter any of this stuff yet. I'm just going to save that to the niche, pop that in there. There you go. So if you know the name of your offer, you're good. Obviously, this is your offer URL. There's no need to show you this. This is the offer deadline. Despite the success I've had with health, I'm still a student. So you can change this from health to something very specific. You can say, for example, the niche, say, you could say something like, if you say, let's say, I'm using, again, we're just picking on Gordon here right now, but it's like, what if your niche was inflammation? I'm just going to show you what that would look like, guys. I would change the niche to inflammation. Okay. Now, granted, you don't know that I get all the drawbacks, but I'm showing you from a tutorial point of view. So despite the success I had with inflammation. So now the niche is inflammation. Let's just do a regeneration here. And it's going to pull in everything that we entered. I want you personally to help you to this inflammation online family. Okay. So maybe I come in here and say, and overcoming inflammation. Let's see if that works. And this is how Email Copy Pro is supposed to work. Let's see how this works. Okay. So notice I'm writing over this. So this overcoming inflammation online family. It's not bad. Not the greatest thing, inflammation fighting online family, maybe. But despite the success I've had with overcoming inflammation, obviously that's going to work well. Okay. Let's see how it works otherwise. I'm just going to pop it all in here. A key now when it comes to overcoming inflammation and how to make it work for you. Now, to see how the sentence and how to make it work for you, the way Email Copy Pro thinks about an avatar or a niche is, we think of it as weight loss and how to make it work for you, how to make weight loss work for you, how to make overcoming inflammation work for you, So yeah, that's not a bad sentence here, but we're looking at a couple other things here. Let's look at the next email, and I'm going to hit regenerate to pull in the data that I just entered. But as you can see, once I do that, all I need is my offer name and if this one field, and this entire email is done, content and everything. So now it says, however, if you really want to make your overcoming inflammation goals a reality, that does work. So I'm just giving you ideas of things that can work. So as your niche. So, but see, as your niche in here, for example, we're hitting that. That looks like, well, maybe I just didn't click it. No, we're hitting some of that same delay here. So bear with me, guys. We talked about what Leanne, what was the I don't know what's going on here, guys.
What? By the way, Gordon is loving this. He says, "I appreciate this."
Well, yeah, I just hope everybody else does too, because it's like I'm trying. This is an education for everyone. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm if this is still going on tomorrow, we may have to totally reboot the server entirely. Yeah, this is not working. So,
the other people are chiming in and saying they like this too. So.
Okay, I'm going to try to refresh the page here. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know where I was at. I think it was in here. Okay, so no, it wasn't there. Oh, well, I thought where was it? Okay, okay, so fulfilling your. So right here, fulfilling your inflammation, objectives, chronic inflammation objectives. So that doesn't work as well as something else may work, which is like your goals, realizing your chronic inflammation goals. That works totally fine if you used chronic inflammation, overcoming inflammation goals. So, so I'd say, because you want to think about something like got it. Let's see how well that works. We hit regenerate. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. There's no way we can do a tutorial inside Email Copy Pro right now, because it's just the site is just not working because of this freaking attack. So it's just, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry, but no, we can make it work, but we're just sitting here for a while. So we need to send out an email to everybody and let them know that there's a denial of service attack on a lot of servers going on right now, but just so people don't think it's broke.
Yeah, isn't it? Rick said it's good. It's working fast where he is. I wonder. No, Robert.
You're getting really serious feedback here. Okay, so I really want to make your information lowering goals. Okay, that hyphenate thing that does kind of work. So now let's see if it works in other places. Let's go to, let's just go to a different email. I think that might be the one. I have to find that doesn't have anything in here. I think the truth about it. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to regenerate that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, information lowering tends to work. I mean, you can look at it right here. See, it's actually essential valuable part of learning about inflammation lowering. So the hyphen works there fine. If I took every inflammation lowering success story, be they man or needs to win at this game, if you ever felt overwhelmed when it comes to inflammation lowering mastery, so that totally works. I mean, if you just said inflammation or chronic inflammation mastery, that works too. So I would have, in this case, I would have inflammation lowering, create a new entry, and make one that says chronic inflammation. And then you can choose and pick and choose the one you want. So I do this way, just copy and paste that in there. So when it comes to chronic inflammation, some consider me an expert. That totally works, obviously. So now, chronic inflammation mastery, then I encourage you to start discarding otherwise you don't. Yeah, it totally works in that way. So now if we come back up here to the top, which we were just looking at the content or let's go over here to this one right here and hit regenerate. And I'll show you how that might pull in, assuming. So what's happening, I'm seeing this, anything that's calling a database call is what's causing this thing to slow down. So regeneration is a database call. And so, yeah, it makes total sense. It's the server being bombarded. it took me like 20 minutes to pull up an article today too from the New York Times. So anyway, sorry guys.
Hey, while you're in Email Copy Pro, can you go to the sales letter?
It's a database call again. It would take, I mean, you're seeing how long it takes to just do one. It's hit and miss. So right now I hit regenerate. It still hasn't done anything yet. So again, this is not, so you guys know, this is not us. This is whatever is going on out there affecting us. So yeah, we'll have to figure out something. So hopefully they get it fixed very quickly. Okay, so there's no point in continuing on, but yeah, so we're not going to be able to go into anything inside Email Copy Pro today. Sorry, guys. Yeah, see, it's the calls from what happens, Robert, is there is a server hit between me and the server for Email Copy Pro, and that server is completely foobar. It is, honestly, it's just like, I could go down the street and hit a different server and it would work. So yeah, I don't know if it was working on your end or not, Leanne. Can you try it? Because if it works on your end, you can share the screen and I can walk you through it.
I'm doing that right now as we speak.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks a lot for all the kind words. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks. Because again, this training is yours. You get this training every week, and you can say what you want. And if somebody else comes on here and says, I'm stuck here, I'm going to spend time figuring that out too. Because this one's a tough one. And there are the occasional tough ones where, weight loss is an easy one. When it comes to weight loss, some people consider me an expert. This weight loss community, that all works. Okay. But when something is negative, now that's what's causing you want to turn that negative into something positive, because inflammation is negative. Okay. When it comes to inflammation, chronic inflammation, some consider me an expert. When it comes to dying young, okay, let's take something really terrible, dying young, then you wouldn't want to say, welcome to this dying young family, right? That doesn't make any sense. So when it comes to, overcoming dying young, even that is clunky. So there are some things that just won't work as well as others, but they're rare and they almost always involve something negative. So if you can turn that negative inflammation into a positive, when it comes to low inflammation living, for example, so you want, this is a great lesson for everyone on the call. You want your avatar and your niche to be as positive as possible. So if it's a negative thing, like, when it comes to dying, okay, say you're an undertaker. Okay, we don't have any undertakers, but let's say that we did. Okay, and when it comes to dying, some people consider me an expert. That doesn't make any sense, right? So
technically, it would be death.
When it comes to death, some people consider me an expert. So you might want to say, when it comes to dying with dignity, some people consider me an expert. Dying with dignity, online family makes complete sense now, right? All I did was take the negative and turn it into a positive. So that's your job, Gordon. Take that, what I did it, inflammation, resistance, inflammation, overcoming inflammation. You get the idea? Cool.
And I was able to pull up the sales letter. I'm just scrolling down to find the spot.
Share your screen, and so again, this could be my connection to this dreaded server. So, let me see. This could be a Canadian thing too. This could be I'm in Canada, so it could be Canadian thing, eh? These weird Canadians, eh? God, I'm starting to talk like them.
Letter page here.
I'm starting to talk like them. I'm kidding.
Eh?
I don't hear a whole lot of A's here. I really don't. I've only heard like 2 people say A. I'm around Ella like 8 hours a day, and I have yet to hear her say A. Ella, say A.
No, I don't say that.
She refuses. She refuses to say A. I love it. Okay. Oh yeah, this is one of my okay. So okay, what was the purpose of the sales letter? So we're now
So like a little there's a mistake. There's a glitch. Here it is. Um, I wanted to go way beyond the extra mile and give you dollar amount, right?
yeah.
Enter total bonus value. Just for taking action before this offer expires in brackets,
Yeah, click on the brackets.
total offer value.
Okay, great.
It should be a time thing, right?
No. Click on the pencil. Okay, scroll down. Oh, okay, it is the wrong field. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, I remember why now. I remember why we took that field out and we moved it to a different place because oh gosh, okay. Yeah, I can fix that. I can fix that in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. So give me something hard, like Gordon did.
There's one. Sorry,
don't do that now. Don't do that.
You have to get a softball after a hardball, right?
Don't do that. Well, I don't know what sounds rude, Gordon. I don't know what sounds rude. A sounds rude. I don't know. I'm learning this culture. Man. All right, so I'll fix that while we're on the call. Okay, take a next question. Next question, guys.
Hang on.
Yeah, this has got to be the server because I popped into here like it was nothing into the back end.
A general opt-in from Facebook with a VSL on the thank you page. Would you say to put them on the 21-day sequence?
Can you say again?
For a general opt-in from Facebook with a VSL on the thank you page, would you say to put them on the 21-day sequence after the, this wasn't worded well, put them on the 21-day sequence first, then invite to a webinar, or go straight into the webinar, invite, then 21-day sequence for the folks who don't buy. But it wouldn't be the 21 sequence for the folks who don't buy.
Yeah.
Right.
If you have a webinar that you want to send people to, I would use the webinar. You use the straight webinar registration sequence. And then after they register for the sequence, then use the webinar sales multiplier afterwards. That's what I would use. Now, if you're trying to build a content-based report thing, the 21-day feed that we have right now ends with a webinar. So you will build more, certainly more rapport with people, but also people you could get more people onto the webinar right off the bat. Now there's pros and cons to both. So I would the answer is to test both. So one is to post one as is the free gift, like, hey, got a free gift for you, and send them to the free gift, and that kicks off the 21 day because that is the first email inside the 21 day. And you can use any of the free gift emails that we have, like just Google bonus and pull up any of the emails that we have for that. That's really not an email; it's more of an ad. So you would just say, hey, get my 10 super secrets, whatever they may be, bonus here. And you click in, they opt in, and then you would start the 21-day sequence and then send them to a webinar. But I like the idea of going straight to a VSL after they opt in. So if you go straight to a VSL and they window out of that, but if they've entered their email address at that point, definitely start the 21-day. So let me know if that answered that question. I'm not sure.
And KS said, loving this is seeing how to actually customize the niche.
Cool.
So that's cool. And, this whole thing with Gordon and diving deep, what about like having people write in and either on, during the call or write in if they can't make the call, and like picking somebody with like a tough thing like that and just diving in and doing it for them like that.
Yeah. That's
kind of why we're here, but
that's kind of why we're here. That's why we're here. We're here. This is going to get really crowded in July, guys. So just so you know, take advantage of this while you still got it. Okay, so go ahead and hit regenerate, Leanne.
Okay, hang on.
Sorry, here, guys. 1 second here. Okay, share your screen.
Yeah, and mine is coming along really fast too. So it may be a Canadian thing.
Well, like I said, it's like that's a denial.
Yeah.
What happens in a server attack is not every server is hit. It's so our server may not be under attack, but the server between our servers is under attack. So that's what's going on. So okay, hit regenerate,
Uh-oh.
and you should see the change there. I'm fixing stuff on a call.
Because you go over and above.
How bad is that? There you
go. Okay, so I don't even know where that was.
Just do a find for the word offer. Offer expires. Command F. And offer expires, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yep.
And then he said there was one more thing.
Oh, I that was typo on my part. I have the word in there, and I'm taking that out. That's typo. Okay. All right, guys.
Okay, there's one more thing. Factor in the bonuses. It's in that sentence. So factor.
Okay. So
it's not coming up, even though it's in there.
Yeah, I can't see what you're talking about. Can you? What isn't coming up?
Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
Your screen.
See if I. Okay. So if I go out of this, factor in the bonuses, and you'd be looking at enter the sum total offer value. So if I click on that,
and
then the blue pencil, it's in there. It's just not generating.
Into the sum total value. Okay. Okay. Scroll up. Okay. Hit the green entry button. Huh. That one's got me. Okay. I don't want to fix this on a call because it's going to take some time, but that's a bizarre thing. I'll look into it, guys. That's going to be something I have to do off the call.
All right. So Fred, you're taken care of now.
Okay. So Fred, we'll get that fixed. Until then, you can type over it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, don't know what that is. So Andrew, you can get access to the training. Yeah, because we have these. Leanne sends these out to people, and just click on the email anytime. Any of the emails that we invite you to training, you can always click on those and rewatch these, or just go to my YouTube channel, which is Digital Publisher. So youtube.com/Digital Publisher. And they're there. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, folks? It's funny. I'm the only one having problems apparently, because other people are saying I'm not having any problems or doing.
Yeah, I'm not having any problems. So the good news is that maybe
Yeah.
It's not as widespread as you think, so that's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's except that I kind of need in my own program. I kind of need to make this work. Yeah. Okay.
So you just have to pour yourself a long cold drink, and
if I drink, I will.
Longer.
Yeah.
Longer to do the training.
Yeah.
All right. Going once, going twice, people. Questions for John? Or just feedback, right?
I'd love to hear your feedback, because don't forget, you guys, you have like a plethora of starter emails now, quick start emails that take you less than 5 minutes to get from start to finish. You've got the starter niche now that you can literally, if you don't have a niche, go in there, click it, it's virtually done. You saw exactly how to do it tonight. Watch the video on the niche page. If you don't, and you get content. So I did want to ask this before you guys go. Do this for me. Let me know about content. How valuable is content to you guys? Like, in other words, if Email Copy Pro could provide you with 10, Ella? If Email Copy Pro could provide you with 10 content pieces every month, specific to your niche. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to do this. I'm asking a hypothetical. How valuable would that be to you? Content that you could use in a Facebook post, you could use in email, obviously. Just you could use on your website. Okay, so now we have, Jonathan's saying, yeah, we have content in the content niche, obviously. Advertorials, yep, that would be kind of part of the process. Okay. All right, cool. I'm curious to see, does anyone not need content? And the reason why I'm asking that question is we're contemplating doing a business model that's slightly different than what we originally started off to do, and that is to have two different levels of Email Copy Pro. One provides you with exactly what you guys have right now, all the emails in that basic content that you have inside the starter kit, and the other one would actually fill in that content for you. Okay, so everybody's saying very much so. Yeah, that's what I thought too. The thing is that there's no way we would have to have a charge extra for that, even for you guys. That's because the only way to do that is to hire out tons of content writers. But I'm wondering if it would be worth it to, if you could get all your content for under $100 every month, how valuable would that be to you? Because if it's valuable to you guys and we can do it, and that's the big if we can do it, awesome. Because right now you get all your emails for under $100 a month. If we can give you also all your content for an additional $100, I mean, for me that's a no-brainer. But we need to make the math work, and we need to see if it's realistic. We're not trying to upsell you because I don't have anything to upsell you. I'm just saying that I'm contemplating this as a model, and I want to know how many clients we'd have if you guys would be willing to do that. And I mean, because if I had someone. And let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I pay someone $5,000 a month to write just social media content for me, let alone email content. I mean, if I had someone doing email content for me, specifically for me, that'd be like, $5,000 a month. It'd be expensive, So if I could get that for $100 a month and it was solid content, Jonathan, we'd have to double the monthly cost of it. There's no way we could do it for $97 a month. There's just no way. So yeah. Now what you got for $97 a month is the starter content's already in there. So you got that content you got the first, whatever that is, 10 articles, 10 content pieces. But yeah, there's just no way to do that. There's no way to do it. I mean, there are companies that do, yeah. So Rick has a great point. So I don't think writers have the expertise to write really quality content on astrology. So your niche is astrology. So what we would be doing is we would only be doing this probably for the top 5 niches out there. So something really specific like astrology. Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be a good fit for you. Oh yeah. Oh, it's not in the core package, Jonathan. This would be an add-on. This is we're not talking about changing the offer. We're talking about like saying, hey, do you want to also get content? And we'd only offer it for like the major niches out there. Yeah. So trading wealth, investment. So wealth would definitely be one of those. So the niches out there that we're thinking about doing is anything in health. So we're talking about general content. So in other words, let's go back to poor Gordon. He's talking specifically about inflammation. Okay, so we would provide content saying 3 simple ways to improve your health, 3 brain tips that help your brain stay healthy longer. For golf might be one of them. I'm not really sure, but our goal would be to entering as many as possible. So we'll start with 5 or 6. So yeah. Oh, that's what you make, Jonathan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. I would never. No, I would never do that. Oh yeah, guys, I'm going to double the cost on you guys. No, I'm not talking about doing that. I'm saying if we did it, this is how we would do it. We'd have to, have some sort of a service fee for it. But yeah, the thing is, trading investment would definitely be one we'd easily do. So everything from like how savings tips to how to save money on groceries. I mean, any of those things would work for. Again, the idea is content that is well-rounded. So let's say that you were strictly in day trading. Okay. In today's article is how you can save money when it comes down to buying groceries. Okay, now that sounds really lame, right? But hey, the money you save for buying groceries, you can actually put inside your day trading account. See how that works? So something really open-ended like that can work for anything. So health would definitely be one because I'm in it. So that would health, marketing, those are the biggies. So yeah. So that's what we're thinking about doing. We'll keep you posted. Don't know for sure exactly, but that's on the contemplation block. Social media, good question. We wouldn't do social media as a niche, I don't think, because it's too too specific. But now we do just so you guys know, like Sal and I'm reading back through here real quick. We got Sal, we got Craig, we got you see Jonathan, we got I'm having to scroll. There's a lot of messages here. Sorry, guys. Rick. So golf, Scott. We do have, like right now, we offer, hey, we'll write content for you, specifically for you. In other words, like, that we'll write, 10 articles a month, but that's back to content prices, which is content prices are expensive. I'm not talking getting specific content. So, as long as Rick says, as long as it does go the way of PLR, you're referring to public licensing, right? Or is that what you're referring to? Not the way of PLR.
So I think he's saying not the way of like crappy PLR kind of.
To be honest with you, I know what PLR is. I just don't know. I've just never seen a PLR. Give me an example of a PLR style article. Are
you just saying that you consider PLR to be less than optimal? And while we're waiting, Scott said, I used to play pro golf, now pro copywriter, could help with the golf content.
There you go. That's good. Hey, connecting you guys, like we said we would. So, yeah, I'd like to see an example of private label rights. So, I don't know the answer to that question because I've never seen one. Because obviously that's not my business. My business isn't writing content. My business is writing copy. The fact is that my copywriting team has a business of writing content. So some of it would be really general and some of it wouldn't. So the idea behind what we're doing right now, like if you go into the starter niche, Rick, in fact, you should do this just for grins. Go into the starter niche, and I actually wrote all the articles inside the starter niche based on stuff that I like. But it's like stuff like, I wrote an article on nudge theory. I don't know if you guys know what nudge theory is, but it's a behavioral science term, right? And it's basically Kaizen, but I didn't want to say Kaizen because it's harder to explain. But the idea of small steps toward a larger goal, but they studied people that were doing small steps and being rewarded for each of the steps. They progressed like infinitely, much faster, and they stayed going much longer. So I thought that article would apply for just about anyone, whether it's astrology, whether it's anything. Okay, if you're trying to really leverage your astrology results, you might want to look into nudge theory. What is nudge theory? Well, that works for almost anything. That is very general, but it's also very good. So I'm not sure if PLR is general and crappy. If it's general and crappy, then no, I would never do that. So yeah, but what we would do is stuff like that. And okay, cool. So that is what you would consider good. Yeah. So we would find things like that. That would be our general stuff. And then our specific stuff would be like, here's the tricky part. Let's go back to Rick for a moment. I think was Rick? Yes, Rick, you're the astrologer. Yeah. So Rick, if we said, here are five tips for maximizing your astrology reading, because that's super specific to you, right? But if one of those tips says, we think you should stand on your head, and you're going like, I don't know what you're talking about, you would always run into that kind of stuff when we're dealing with specifics. So for example, weight loss. If I said, here are 3 easy tips for weight loss, and I said, be sure to watch your fat intake. Well, I would immediately delete that because my fat intake is 60% of my diet. And that's what I teach people. So do you see what I'm saying? Like we would go specific, but it would not be guaranteed that it would work specifically for you, because we might have 30 people in the astrology niche or 100 people in the weight loss world, right? So we'd take general weight loss stuff. Like, for example, why even this could be controversial. Why walking is a great fat burning exercise. I know people that don't buy it. I know people that say, "Oh, you hear walking is a great fat," but it's not. That's all I do is weight train and walk. So I love it. But there are specific ones from I don't know those people. So yeah. Okay, cool. Well, just letting you guys know that we're considering how to find the best astrologer for you. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. That's a good one. Yeah. So that one, that's one. But if we have to come up with 10 every month for astrology, you can see how that's a little bit of a challenge. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be doing this. My team would be. But we're contemplating it, and it may not be something we can do. We're just filling out what you guys want and how helpful it would be. But the content pieces that we have in there right now, like they're actually much more clever. They're like, because you're filling it in. One thing you're going to need, now that you've got your astrology chops down, one thing you're also going to need is a blank. Well, we don't know what that blank is, but you do. So we just walk you through how to fill in those content pieces, which I think is a great freaking tool. That separates Email Copy Pro from anything else out there already. Already is doing that, because we're like, we know these content formulas work, and we know they work really well. So all you have to do is fill them out. What we were trying to do is do the extra step. Like, could we fill it out for you? Sal, that's going to be what the emailers is all about. So when we release emailers here in the next, I hope that we get this out. I'd love to get it out this weekend, but definitely next week. That's how you get in touch with users like Scott. Or you could just, Scott, you can pop your email in there if you want to. So yeah, but that's how you guys will be in contact with each other is through the emailers group, which is their Facebook group. So anyway, that's great. That's good information, guys. Thank you so much for letting us know. Awesome. It's a great call. Really appreciate everybody. And Scott, if you want to put your information in so Sal can get in touch with you. I believe maybe he did. Yeah, just pop your email.
Nope, there it is.
Yeah, there you go, Scott. Sal. Happy to connect you guys. So awesome. Well, let us know what you think. Dive in and look at the new stuff. And again, look for 2.0 is coming out at the end of this month. It's going to be a complete visual game changer. It's going to look and feel completely different, completely easier, and it's going to drill down from. You're going to see what I'm talking about. It's going to be awesome. And that's what we got for you. So we'll be in touch with your training here as soon as we get our date for next week. It's probably going to be on Thursdays. But sometimes I will never stop doing webinars, Jonathan. I don't want to stop. So thank you. Appreciate that, man. I just enjoy it too much. The bottom line is I was like, people are always telling me, man. I mean, always. It's like, dude, I'm going to open up private coaching, by the way, if you guys are interested in that. So I'm opening up a very small group of private coaching group. So a la Frank Kern, a la everybody else out there that's doing this kind of stuff. But so specifically on marketing, copywriting strategies, and of course that involves email, but you're going to be tied down and talking. Well, that's fine. I like it. So that's what I like to do. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Love you guys too. Thank you. And, keep us posted on your success, and please send any rave reviews about Email Copy Pro our way so we can collect them and help spread this word around that. That would be awesome. We'd love it if you can just email it to support@emailcopypro.com. If you have some kind words to say, we would love to hear them. So thank you, Leanne, for joining me again. And thank you guys for being on the call.
Thank you. And thank everyone for joining in, because without them, it wouldn't be much of a call.
Exactly. Thanks, guys.